Hi everyone, welcome back to another Nikki Uncut. We're officially in fall, and this is the first fall makeup look that I'm going to be doing on my makeup channel. I'm so excited. If you know me, you know that I love fall. It's like my absolute favorite, most cherished time of the year. I don't know. It makes me so incredibly happy when it's like the leaves are crispy. I know it sounds so cliche, but like right now, the leaves are crispy outside, and which causes chaos for Mitch because Mitch loves to complain about crispy leaves and how they get into the house and all that stuff. But anyway, I digress. It's fall. I'm so excited. And it was crazy because it took a dive from 1 week to the next. It felt like it went from fiery hot heat to all of a sudden kind of semi-gloomy and chilly in the 70s cold weather, or colder weather in LA. So yeah, it was like fall just happened very abruptly, but I'm so here for it and I'm so ready. I'm so excited. I love everything fall. Like I just love everything fall. I'll stop ahead of time. But anyway, we're gonna do a full fall makeup look that is going to be including almost, I'd say 90% new makeup. So the new makeup that I put on right now that I just started putting on my face, this is the new Milk Hydro Grip and Glow Primer. I have been loving this. This is so nice. Gives a really beautiful grip to the skin and a really good stickiness to the skin, just like the original Hydro Grip formula from Milk, but slightly less like thick and tacky. This one feels to me more serum based and just overall like a little bit thinner. So if you didn't like the original feel of the original Hydro Grip, like just like me, I'm not like the hugest fan of that primer. I feel like you'd really like this one. And the bonus is it gives this beautiful glow. Like the glow is quite stunning. I'm just gonna let you know there's a lot going on outside right now. It's trash day in my neighborhood, and I just happen to always love to torture myself by filming on trash day. So it's trash day there in front of my house right now. It is what it is. But we're gonna keep powering through this makeup look. I'm so excited to create a fall makeup look. I cannot get over it. It feels so special to be sitting here saying that I'm going to do a first fall makeup look of the season on my channel. I know there's been plenty that I'm sure posted on YouTube already from different creators, but this is the first one on my channel. So anyway, I'm going to show you one more look at this glow primer before we put foundation on. And for foundation, I picked up the new LYS Triple Fix Serum Skin Tint Stick. And I'm saying a little prayer that the shade that I picked out is gonna work. I picked out the shade MN5, Medium Neutral 5. Now, I love LYS for tons of stuff, but their bronzer is one of my all-time favorite bronzers. It comes with the same exact component. So I have high hopes for this foundation stick. And I've also been really enjoying stick foundations. Like the new Dior, been loving that, even though the color is a little off for me. So hopefully it's not gonna be the same for this one, but let's test it out. And we're gonna go straight in and see how creamy, this is. Wow, first impression is, look how glossy that is too. I don't know if you could see on camera. Ooh, that is like a nice juicy stick foundation. Let's read about this while I put this on. And let me apply it with my only clean N17 for the week. And let's see how this blends out. Wow. All right, so the shade is definitely a good match for me. I'm loving the way this goes on top of the Milk. I'll definitely, of course, test it out without the Milk underneath it, the Milk primer, in future videos. I have a feeling this is going to be a new favorite, though. I know I've had a lot of new favorite foundations come out recently, so just a little like, I don't know, not a warning, but don't feel obligated to pick up every single foundation that's new that I've been loving. Use your discretion, use your better judgment, get what you need and nothing else. You don't need to buy every single liquid foundation and stick foundation that I've been loving. It's just good to know what formulas I think are really worth purchasing, and I think this is going to end up on that list. I'm going to do a couple more swipes because I want a little more coverage. And now that I've seen how it blends out, it's not looking thick or heavy. I mean, that is like so creamy and nice. Oh yeah, and I was gonna read about this. Hold on, I got a little distracted with the way this blended on so beautifully. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is very small. There's no way I'm gonna be able to read that. I'm so sorry. You know what? I'll of course link it, like I link everything on that I use on my channel. But let me try to read some things. Key ingredients: green tea extract, watermelon seed extract, helps retain the skin's moisture levels. Rosehip oil. Ooh, I like rosehip oil. I mean, I can just tell you it feels amazing on my skin right now. The rest of this is way too small for me to read, unfortunately, without digging through my house to find my glasses, like my reading glasses. So we're gonna skip that for now. And we'll just talk about my first impressions. And I'm even gonna layer more because it's not feeling heavy and I'm just wanting some really flawless skin for today's video. And I have layered quite a bit, but like I said, it's not feeling heavy even though I've layered quite a few rounds of this foundation at this point. It's still looking really skin-like, really beautiful. And I'm assuming this would be glowy even without the milk primer underneath. But again, I will test it out without that milk primer in a future video. That's stunning. That blends out so well, so quick and so easy. Feels amazing. If you're not new here, you already know that I have combination oily skin, so we'll see how this wears throughout the day. This is much more moisturizing. And again, very similar talking points as the Dior, where the Dior Stick Foundation is, I think, a really great product for dry skin. On me, it does get quite shiny throughout the day, and I just kind of combat that with a little bit of extra powder. But this is like, first impressions, absolutely stunning. Love that from LYS. And I'm not surprised because they just have really good complexion formula products and they exceed in complexion. I think they do an amazing job. So love that. And we have so many other new goodies to try on. And I also picked up recently the Kulfi concealer. This is such a great concealer and I slept on this for so long. I feel like so many people told me that I would love it and that I need to get it. And it just took me a while to get it. And to be honest, I think what stopped me from getting it sooner is every time I would try to pick out the shade in Sephora, because I wanted to like test out the shades in Sephora to see like what shade would be the best suited for me, obviously. I could have gone online and just, you know, guessed, but I really wanted to pick this one out in person, and every time I went, they were out of all the shades that I would have found suitable for my under eyes. So I finally was able to pick it up in store, and I'm so thrilled with the formula. It's very hydrating. I feel like this would be a very nice formula for drier skin, and especially dry under eyes. It feels very thin, very like it like melts into your skin in a really nice way. It's not like a heavy concealer, but also the coverage is still fantastic. So this has just been looking beautiful on my skin and been really easy to work with. And the shade that I ended up getting was Cocoa Crush, and Cocoa Crush is pretty much my perfect concealer shade, like my absolute perfect concealer shade. I'm gonna tap this in with my N14. Oh, you know what? I actually meant to we'll use this for powder. One of my fun bedazzled N14s from my wonderful subscriber, Angela Davis. Thank you so much, Angela. And then speaking of wonderful subscribers, we're so using this Nomad palette, and my top was inspired by this palette. Speaking of another amazing, supportive, wonderful community member on my YouTube, Suzanne Young, gifted me this palette. Thank you, Suzanne. I have not been able to put this palette down. So I've been anxious to create a fall-inspired makeup look with this palette. Let me just show you this while I'm taking my time blending in my concealer, just so you can get kind of, you know, excited ahead of time. There's two ways I might go with this eyeshadow look. Both are going to be, you know, a little more like quintessential, kind of typical fall, you know, and I mean typical in a good way. Fall looks and fall eyeshadow looks specifically are some of my favorite eyeshadow looks on the planet to look at, to create, to wear. So we're gonna do a classic fall eyeshadow look, okay? And I'm just so here for it. I really am just so here for it. Another thing I want to call out about the Kulfi concealer is a little bit does go a long way, and I find myself I keep forgetting this, and I keep putting on way too much of this concealer. It's very spreadable and very expandable. Like, it hits your skin. You could blend it all out and get like a really like widespread amount of coverage with the product. So less is more. You do not need to put that much on to get a good amount of coverage. But if you're wanting a full glam, full coverage look, you can get that too. So nothing wrong with either one. Nothing wrong with a little bit of concealer and nothing wrong with a lot of concealer. Concealer is like my BFF, honestly. All right. We're looking like a blank slate. That's exactly what we're looking like. We're looking like a nice blank slate. I don't have a new... Do I have a new cream bronzer? I mean, I have my Dominique Cosmetics cream bronzer. I have my Mauve ones. But you know what? I'm going to do something that I've been doing kind of off camera. And it's going to be a little surprising. I'm going to do something that I've been doing off camera when I'm having like I hate to say it, but like a lazy makeup day. And I just want to look like put together really quickly. But we're going to get to it in a second. But it's going to involve just using this wildly expensive Sisley Phyto Touch gel bronzer, Sunglow, something has a really long name. It was a fortune to buy. I bought this for the most expensive makeup look that I did. And I kind of like shied away from it at first. And then I realized it's actually a fantastic gel bronzer. So we're going to use it for this video. I also, when I tell you, I gasped when I got these in the mail. I literally audibly gasped. I have the new Ravi Beauty blushes. I'm so excited. I'm like tongue twisted. I've also had a lot of caffeine, but I cannot wait to try one of these on. I think I'm going to end up using probably this more corally peachy one for this makeup look. So we'll get to that soon. But you know what? Next, we're done with liquids-ish. Actually, I'm a liar. I'm going to mix a little bit of this new YSL Make Me Blush liquid blush. These are really, really sheer. So I'm actually going to use this first, and I'll probably set it with the Review Beauty to kind of cocktail the two together. I love to do that, especially if I'm using a more sheer liquid blush first. This is really, really more natural from, well, I'm basing it off of the two shades I've used prior to this one. And this is the shade 37. I'm sure there's an actual name, but it just says 37 on the bottom. Let's just do a little bit. And let me show you what this looks like on. I'm going to grab a 109 brush from BK Beauty. And this is going to be a nice starting point for the blush application that I'm going to build up. Hey everyone, it's me again. And I just want to pop in here because as we were watching that Nikki Uncut, we tried to keep it super organic and not cut anything, hence the name Nikki Uncut. However, there was just way too many wild noises outside. It was like landscapers, trash day, you name it. It just got a little too chaotic and I didn't want to do that to you all. So we're going to cut that out and instead I'm going to share with you what you're missing during this time where there's just too much noise going on. I went in and I used the YSL Make Me Blush liquid blush in the shade 37. I used this as my base layer blush and then I popped another blush on top, which you'll see very shortly. Very pretty, a little more sheer. And then you also missed me setting my under eyes with the Makeup by Mario loose powder. I also mentioned, but you want to be able to hear me quite clearly, I mentioned that I'm in love with this powder. This powder is so impressive, so beautiful on my skin. It's just been a beautiful powder and really, really smoothing under my eyes. I've been hooked on this powder. It is in the shade Fair Pink. I do have it linked in the description box and all those good things. So this is what I use to set my under eyes as well as my entire T-zone. So going straight down, across my forehead, all the usual places. And then I mentioned quite a bit about how I gave this another shot. I bought this for a really expensive luxury makeup video and it's a really pricey powder bronzer. It almost has like a gel feeling to it. You'll see me apply it in the video. But this is a beautiful, more gel-like, luminous bronzer. I put this on all over to warm my skin. But I also call out that if you don't want to spend $140 on this, you can get the exact same effect using the Kosas. This is the Cloud Set. It's like the Cloud Set powder, excuse me. It's actually called the Sun Show, and I use the shade Waves. Very, very similar to the Sisley Gel Powder Bronzer. except at a much more affordable price. I think this is only $32 versus $140. So I talk about these. You did miss that. However, I'm giving you the lowdown and all the information you need, so don't feel like you missed anything. And I promise you, we'll get the noise issues under control eventually. But cutting back to the video now. And this really does give me such a healthy, beautiful, bronzy glow. So I use like a buffing motion as well as like a stamping motion. I usually buff it on my forehead. And then when I get to my cheek area, I use like more of a tapping, stamping motion so I don't disrupt, because I have much more makeup on this area of my face than I do on my forehead. The forehead's just like a nice, you know, wash of foundation, so you can really kind of buff in without disturbing the makeup too much. So all over, as close to my hairline as possible. Still trying to figure out how to wear my bangs down while doing a makeup tutorial. I have yet to figure this out. So for now, I'm sure you're tired of seeing the headband, but it just gets everything out of the way so you can really focus on the makeup. So I'm gonna tap in now. Kind of bring it up towards my temple. And stamping in this area again because I have a lot more layers of powder and complexion products in those areas. And then for the nose, I really love to just kind of go to town and warm it up. Kind of focusing on the tip of my nose, buffing and working it just to warm up the center of my face. It is such a pretty product. But again, don't feel like you need to go spend way too much money on this. I'm just getting my money's worth, you know? I bought it and I like to use up products to the best of my ability. But again, I'll link this one too, just because it's like the best affordable option. They do the exact same thing. All right, we're looking good complexion wise. I think that looks really pretty. I think I actually need to add a little bit more. And you know, the beauty of Nikki and Cut is not only do you get all the noise interruptions in the background, but you also get to see the real-time blending and finessing that it takes to do, you know, an actual makeup look, like in real time. Nothing's cut out. You see the entire process and you get to actually get a feel for what the entire process is and not like a condensed, sped up or chopped up version of a makeup look. Like you get the real deal with this. That looks so pretty. I just love the way this gives that glow. Now it's time to add a Revi Beauty blush. And I am going to go with Daydream. This looks so pretty. I swatched them earlier. They're such a beautiful formula. And you know, Allie Glines is my girl. Okay, Allie Glines, Thailand, her husband. I love those two so much. But you know, even before I met Allie, I was obsessed with her lipsticks. So I don't know. It's just like, yeah, I'm probably biased because I can now call her a friend. And I'm like so like grateful to call her a friend. So I am a little biased, but I would have been buying these if I didn't know her. So that's like the reality. Just like I would have been buying her lipsticks because I was a huge, huge fan of that formula prior to even knowing her. So yes, I'm biased, but I would have been either way. You know, they're really great products. So, oh, and you know what? I have a brush too. I was like searching for a clean brush. And I realized I have the Revi Beauty blush brush. This looks like a beautiful brush, very soft, very up my alley as far as like the finish and the texture of like the bristles. Very well done, Allie. You crushed it with this. So let's use the Revi Beauty blush brush to dip into Daydream. Ooh, yeah. There's nothing like a baked blush. Were you ever fans of, oh wow, oh wow. Oh, that's like next level. That is like literally a Daydream. The name is very fitting. Were you ever fans of the MAC Cosmetics mineralized blushes, like Warm Soul, you know, aka my favorite blush on the planet? All those formulas were so beautiful because they were baked and they just looked so like, they look like a filter in a blush form. So when I found out, when she told me that she was making baked blushes, I pretty much, you know, I was like dancing around. I was so excited because it's one of my favorite formulas, if not my favorite formula for a blush, especially a powder blush. Like that looks airbrushed and just so smooth and so beautiful on color is going to be great for this makeup look. And it's way, way buildable. So you could start out really slow with the amount of color payoff and color load. If you want it to be more soft and natural, just do a swipe or two, blend it out, and that's all you need for like a more of a natural blush look. But if you want to build it up, which is my favorite way, or my favorite type of formula for blushes, especially powder blushes, buildable is always the way to go. The more user-friendly, the more easier to use. You don't have to be like a pro at blending to get them to look solid and gorgeous. That's stunning. Let's do a little dusting across my nose. The brush is so soft and just did the trick so, so well. Well done. That is gorgeous. The others I will definitely use in another video, so stay tuned. You'll for sure see these in a future video, I'm assuming very soon. But for now, that's Daydream, and that is just stunning. Let's move on to eyes, because I cannot wait to get into this palette once more. So I'm gonna actually start by basing my eyelid, and I'm gonna do like a nice priming color and using a shadow stick. This is not new, but it's one of my favorites, and it's a really great product when you're thinking about like, when you're diving into your fall makeup routines and you're kind of like trying to map out your fall makeup look. I always suggest like picking up a well-pigmented shadow stick in a deeper shade is going to be a really great way to kind of bump up and transition into a fall makeup look, is what I'm trying to say. So Hazelnut from Vive is one of my favorites and one of my go-tos. It's a shadow stick, so you just pop it on quick and easily. This goes on really creamy. You can build it up, you can sheer it out by blending it out. You could do a lot of stuff with these. And if you have oilier eyelids like I do, they work really, really well. I would still suggest setting them with a little bit of powder, which we will in a bit. But anyway, they're a really great product to incorporate into a fall makeup look because they add a beautiful amount of depth and like that fall look to your eyes. Very quick, very easy. So maybe switch out, going into fall, switch out your regular eyeshadow primer. If you're used to using just a concealer, switch that out. Maybe cocktail it, do a little bit of concealer under your brows like I just did. And then do your shadow stick on the base of your eyes, blend it up into the crease, and you have a really great starting point for a warm, toasty fall eyeshadow look. So quick, easy way to get you to that kind of eyeshadow look. So I'm blending it out with one of the cleanest brushes I have in my possession right now. It's the Angie A501 brush. Great brush. It's more of a packer brush. That's typically what I use it for, but you can also use the bristles to buff and blend into the crease. So that right there is just like a great, great stepping stone starter for the Nomad palette to go on top. So keep blending until you feel like it's nice and seamless. Really, really pretty. I'm gonna take a smidge and smudge it on the bottom lash line. A smidge and smudge are a little hard to not get twisted or tongue twisted. Let me try to find some cleaner brushes in my collection. Let's use the 210 brush by BK Beauty. Also a great brush for smudging. And we're just gonna buff this out. And now we have a base for the rest of our powder eyeshadows to go on top and on the bottom. And for this look, I really want to just be warm and toasty and beautiful. And again, very, very fall inspired. So let me pick out another Angie brush I'll need in a second. And let me also try to dig through and get, there we go. This is probably the cleanest N13 that I have in the mix. And we're gonna start with, you know, basically like more of a typical, very much needed transition shade to get this look more primed and ready to go. So I'm gonna dip into Towering Giraffes. This was one of my favorite shades in the palette because I can really incorporate this kind of shade with any kind of eye makeup look, whether it's dramatic, daytime, colorful. This is one of those prime shadow shades that you have to throw in the crease to get like more of a complete eye makeup look. And maybe that's just like the MAC artist in me that forever thinks that I need a primed eye look to get into like more of a colorful look or more of a smoky look, but it works. Same thing with me putting like bronzer, powder bronzer in the crease of my eye, and then putting like any kind of other colored shadow on the base of the eyelid. That bronzer acts like a priming shade to get the look in the right place. All right, so this is giving me a soft, beautiful amount of dimension, like warm dimension. Even though I have brown eyes, I find that brown eyeshadows make my brown eyes pop so much. And they're just very fall, very, very fall. So again, Nikki and Cut, you're gonna see all the building and blending that you probably wouldn't normally see. And I like to bring this soft brown shade all the way up, very close underneath my brow bone. And just really blend and blend. I'm gonna switch really quick to the Angie A504 brush, same Towering Giraffes shadow, and I'm going to blend this on top of that shadow stick on the bottom lash line. And just do the same exact technique. This is setting that shadow stick in place. It's adding you more dimension and more depth. And I love a nice neutral leaning warm brown on the bottom lash line. It's just one of my favorite looks. It's something I always do on my clients when I'm doing their makeup. I will do so much bronzer and so many tones like this one and deeper under the bottom lash line because it just gives this like really sultry, flattering look to the eyes and it makes them look bigger. I could keep going forever. I love this shade. I love that shade is absolute perfection. We're gonna use the same brush and we're just gonna carry on and use a different shade now that I plan on using in the crease on the top. This is the shade Elusive Leopards. That is so cute. These names are so cute. And this palette just screams fall to me. So same thing, we're gonna bring it all along the bottom lash line. I pretty much avoid this inner corner just because it's not the most flattering to bring it all the way across for my eyes at least. And then we're gonna start kind of rounding it around the top and the bottom. Just like that. Very pretty. Okay, switching back to the N13 brush, same Elusive Leopards shadow. And we're gonna start to build this up into the crease. Using a back and forth windsor wiper motion and then small circular motions on the outer part. Just like that. The blend with these shadows is quite amazing. Formula is fantastic. I just ordered the palette Ghost Town because Suzanne and everyone else told me that it's a beautiful palette. So I ordered it right away and I cannot wait for that to come. It looks like a really, really fun, really unique palette and it's called Ghost Town. So it's like very fitting for the season we are now in. That's gorgeous. It's definitely fitting the vibes of my top very, very well. Trying to match up my hooded eye to my non-hooded. Beautiful. Wow. Okay. Now I might go extra smoky with this one. I think I might dip into, yeah. So what we're going to do, I'm just feeling more smoky for this look. We're going to dip into and actually use my fingertip to apply Mighty Buffaloes, which is this one right here. And we're going to go for, ooh, yeah, that's gorgeous. Now I'm using my fingers for this because it's a shimmery, deeper shade. And although this palette does not have hardly any fallout, I just want to be very careful not to accidentally mess up the complexion that I have that's like fully set and, you know, pretty much ready to go. I want to make sure I don't have any fallout that hits it and wrecks it. So just being very careful and pressing this onto my eyelid with the warmth of my finger. It's helping to melt it onto my eyelid. And I also feel like it gives metallic eyeshadows an even more metallic finish. And it's just also really easy. As long as your nails are not too long, and mine are almost to the point where they're too long for this kind of technique. So I'm gonna enjoy it while I can. Wow, that is a stunning, stunning shadow. That is so pretty. I every time I do a smoky eye, I think, why don't I do it more often? You know what I mean? It's like, obviously we were in summer, so it wasn't like the most appropriate for like summer, but now that we're in fall, like we're gonna do some more fall stuff. Now I'm gonna take the same shadow, I'm gonna carefully dip into it with my N13, pick up a little bit of the product, and I'm just gonna use this now to diffuse the edge and blend that into the rest of the crease to give this more of a complete look. Using more small circular motions to buff and blend out the edges of that shadow. And since I applied it with my fingertip, it does have more of a harsh line of separation. So by using a blending brush to finish this, it's going to blend it seamlessly into the rest of the shadow and really give it like a nice, you know, pro look. So back and forth. It's a lot of steps, it's a lot of blending, but this is really what it takes to, you know, create like those really pretty eyeshadow looks that we see. That is such a pretty shade. I cannot get over that. That might be my new favorite shadow in this palette. So same technique, starting out with a little bit of the shadow on my brush, tight blending motions to buff and blend it into the rest of the crease, eliminating all the harsh edges. I might have to go to dinner tonight with this makeup look. Granted, it's only 12:30 in the afternoon right now, but I'll just wear it all day. That's really pretty. My gosh, that is gorgeous. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the blending process. I hope it was helpful to see. I'm going to switch over. I'm going to grab my N11 brush and I'm going to dip into now the darker brown shade that's matte right next to it. This one right here. This is the shade Honking Hippos. That's so cute. N11 brush, and we're just going to stamp on a really quick, soft, semi-wing liner. So I'm just going to press this onto my eyelid, drag it out a touch, or like a little mini, little whisper of a wing. To me, this is just more flattering on my eye shape, and it's just like what I prefer to see on my eyes. Just enough to add that extra bit of depth, but not become like a liner focused look. It's a great dark brown. Wow, very pretty. I'm very happy with that. We're going to close this up for a bit and dive into a mascara. I just repurchased another one of the L'Oreal Panorama mascaras. It's quickly become my favorite drugstore mascara. So I have a nice new tube. And let's do some lashes. Actually look close up, sorry. Mirrors are almost out, just a little FYI, they're almost done. So what I love about this mascara is it's like drama to the max, thickness, length, but this one never smudges or flakes on me. I cannot get over this shiny brown. This is so pretty. And my blush and my under eyes. And I would love to know if you're doing any fall makeup looks, if you post about them, if you share them on, like, let's say Instagram, because that's where I would see it the most. And if you do a recreation of any of my looks, please always tag me. I love to see recreations. I love all that stuff. It's like what makes me the happiest. And there's a few creators that tag me on their makeup looks, and it's like just, it's always so much fun to see their interpretations, what it looks like on them. It's just fun. Makeup is just fun. All right, mascara looks great. Lashes look nice and dramatic. Very fitting to go with this bronzy, smoky eye. Nice, okay. There's nothing like a new tube of this. We can move on. And we do have some options as far as like lip combos go. And since I did take my eyes to more of a dramatic, darker place, I did want that to be the focus of this makeup look. I mentioned that earlier. So what I'm thinking about doing is Pumpkin from Persona. And let me just test this out first. Yeah, that can work. That's definitely gonna work. So Pumpkin is a newer shade from Persona. I've loved Persona's eyeliners and their lip liners for a long time, like for years since they've been out. Even before like I was on YouTube, I was using their dark brown eyeliner in my Pro Kit, or chocolate liner in my Pro Kit. So good. But their formula is fantastic. So I'm gonna do the new shade they came out with, Pumpkin. They also have two other shades that I've been loving as well. In fact, the other one is in my makeup bag to go. So I lightly powder my lips. I like a more dry lip to start with, just a personal preference. And let's take Pumpkin. That's gonna be pretty. Seeing my complexion up close, like really up close, closer than you can see, I'm more and more in love with that new LYS stick foundation. It looks so flawless. Now sit back, relax, because we're gonna be here for a minute. Grab a snack. Now I'm gonna feather in a little bit with this liner. This would make such a beautiful lipstick color. Oh my gosh. Kind of reminds me of Chili lipstick from MAC. Do you all remember that one? Classic terracotta kind of red. So feather in because I have an idea. Wow, that is quite stunning. It's a fall look. It's a little more dramatic. I know the lip is bold as well, but we're gonna soften it just a touch. And I think I'm gonna add, I had an idea earlier. I forgot to pull it out though. I wanna add more of a natural, I'll find it eventually, more of a natural glossy balm on top. Yeah, I think I'm gonna add this. This is the YSL Candy Glaze. These are really nice. They're like a juicy tinted lip balm, basically. They're a little more high-end, a little more pricey. If you want an affordable alternative to this, I highly suggest the Galactic Jello Gloss Bombs. Those are ridiculously amazing. But this shade is number 15. And just like I put on my hand to blend it out on top of the liner, I think it's gonna make a really pretty, really unique combination. So I'm gonna add this on top. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping. It's gonna soften it a bit. That's pretty. We're so in the fall vibes. So these are very, very, very shiny. They're not the longest wearing, so actually cocktailing this on top of a very long wearing lip liner is going to keep it on way longer than it would normally. So that is really pretty. I really like that a lot. We dust off a few. We had a few tiny bits of fallout, but nothing to write home about. Nothing major. Just do a little extra buffing, a little extra fine tuning. And there's one more thing I need to do, and that is a little extra blending right here. And then we're gonna set the makeup with, I'm kind of torn because I'm liking this. However, I'm not thinking it's doing that much, but I'm determined to come up with a conclusion if I like it or not, one way or the other. So we're gonna use it again for this video. It's the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Soft Setting Spray. I like it, like I said, it just doesn't, I don't really feel like it's doing much. So it's adding a nice layer of hydration and comfort to my skin. So we'll use it for that, but I'm not sure it's extending the wear time of my complexion by any means. It's just kind of taking away that powdery edge of a makeup look and kind of giving it more of like a skin-like finish. So shaking it up really well. I'm gonna do a test spray because this one gets kind of jammed up sometimes, I've noticed. And hold please while I set. Ooh. There's no scent to it. I think someone asked me that recently online. It doesn't smell like anything. This is the makeup look. I'm gonna push it in a little bit more with my N14. I'm obsessed with the lip. I love the eyes. It's a full glam moment over here. It's a full glam fall look. I have lipstick on my teeth. But that's the look. This was a blast. First fall makeup look of the season. I love fall so much. If you got through this whole Nikki cut, leave me a comment below. Let me know what your favorite thing about fall is. Let me know what you look forward to the most when it comes to fall. Is it the lattes? Is it the eyeshadow looks? Is it the lip combos? And if you want some fall lip combos, I have so many coming your way that I cannot wait to share and post about. This is the look one more time. The eyeshadow palette, killer. It's absolutely stunning. It's perfection. I am quite literally obsessed with it. Thank you so much again for watching. I cannot wait to hear what your answers are, that your favorite things are for fall. Leave them below. And if you like Nikki cuts, I have so many more. I have so many videos to share, so you can check them out right here. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to keep you and love to have you in future videos. And that's it. That's Nikki cut. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.